It's The Rock We Live On with Mo and Craig.
Happy New Year. Perfect. Okay, well, now we're not starting off very well.
Toast. New Year's ruins. We missed the toast.
There was good news and bad news from the new year already. The good news is that, did you see that the Golden Globes added a category for podcasts?
No, I did not see that.
And the bad news is, we weren't nominated, and we did not win.
I'm sure we're probably only about a year away from being nominated for Golden Globes.
Pretty close.
Yeah, we're growing rapidly.
Amy Poehler won. I don't know if you ever heard of her, Amy Poehler.
Yeah,
it's called Good Hang.
I'm a big Saturday Night Live fan.
Yeah,
so
well, you know her, but have you heard her podcast?
No,
Have you
I
seen
didn't know
it?
she had a podcast.
She interviews celebrities. So basically, everybody that was nominated interviews celebrities.
Yeah.
Except I think Joe Rogan should have been in there, and he didn't get nominated.
He didn't?
No, and even who's the other guy? The comedian from Louisiana.
The weird guy.
Yeah.
The one that does weird stuff.
Yeah, anyway, he should have been nominated.
Theo Von.
Theo Von.
There he is.
I think those two, I think, are the top two. They kind of trade number one in the country. I don't know. I mean, there's others as far as popularity go. And then kind of leading the way.
I listen to Joe Rogan stuff sometimes. It has to be a guest that I'm really into to actually sit and listen to the whole
thing. Yeah, because it's 3 hours.
Yeah, but then other times, I'll catch clips here and there. And same now, Theo Von, I've never listened to beginning to end.
Oh, really?
I see clips.
Yeah. Again, it depends on the guest. Sometimes he'll just have regular people that he's met in life, and then he has celebrities.
I think that makes for
it's kind of a nice twist, and then he'll also just do it by himself, where he's just talking. And I actually tend not to watch those or listen to that. But
it's really hard to stay unless you have a very, and we learned this, I'm sure, you in radio, right? Doing a morning show, and anytime my co-host was like out sick or whatever, to do a show by yourself.
Do it by yourself.
It was a little bit different than doing like voice tracking, which eventually one day we'll talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Voice tracking or whatever. But doing a live show alone, you have to stay compelling. The topics have to be really good.
Especially on a podcast, you're just talking for an hour. There is no music. No. There's no quick bits or whatever.
No. Yeah.
So, when I was in radio, I was always alone. And then there was a few times we were doing handoffs with other DJs, or somebody would come in for a little while. But most of the time, it was me by myself.
Yeah.
Well, but it was short segments. But anyway, we didn't win the Golden Globe. So next year,
shucks,
we'll give it a shot.
Maybe we want them in your hearts.
We're back in the new year with a little changes to our set and a few trying to work on a few things and make the quality better. So hopefully the quality will be better, and we'll just have a really good year.
Hell yeah. I'm sure we'll have a much better year than some people have had so far.
Yeah. The rock we live on is
as you say, ever changing.
Ever changing is crazy changing right now.
It's crazy right now.
Yeah. So I don't know, you want to talk about Minnesota, or I know we're talking a little bit about Venezuela, and whatever else is going crazy in this world right now.
I know very little of either topic. I know more about Minnesota, I would say, because I watched the video.
Yeah.
So I know what I watched. I know what people are trying to say it was.
Crazy.
And, like I said, we've talked about this multiple times. I don't always study these things when I see them, because honestly, I'm at a point now where I know what I watched, yet people on one particular side of the fence always find a way to twist it, turn it, flip it, make it something that a normal person with a normal functioning brain wouldn't understand. Yeah. So, as to avoid a lot of those conversations and watching those idiot people talk about it, sometimes I just stay away from it.
I mean, that part, the fact that they came out, Christy Noemi came out and made a statement before any facts were given, before the name was even released on the victim, she's already calling her a domestic terrorist and talking about her agents were stuck in the snow and she attacked them. And then the video, you watch the video, they're not stuck there's not even snow on the road. It's just maybe icy, wet road. They weren't stuck in anything. No. I mean, it was just lies from the beginning. And I don't know. I guess if you keep saying the same lie over and over, you try to get people to believe them, but you know, the video is right there.
It's right there, but that's what we've come to a point now, and this was probably the case years and years and years ago if there was more video to be seen about things. Right. But we're at a point now where you can play a 20, 30-second clip for millions of people. And people who think one way are going to see one thing. People who think another way are going to see something totally different. Right. Even though we both watched the same footage. Right. And to me, it's just lack of empathy. It is cult-like behavior. Of course. It is, it's at this point, it's just people who don't care. They don't want to understand. And then, they go and every time something happens to somebody on the left, people on the right always go and try to find a reason that they deserved it. Right. At first it was like, oh, she tried to run him down and the guy's lucky to even be alive and he has to go to the hospital. And then you see the video and she was literally just trying to turn and get away from them. And he just happened to be right there and decides to shoot the lady in the face. Yeah, I don't think I think he had some PTSD because he was involved in another accident where he was dragged like 100 yards. Oh, really? Where somebody drove into him and he was dragged, and it happened a few months ago. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Well, exactly, but what's he doing out there? He's got PTSD from that. He's overreacting because he's scared. Yeah, and he doesn't need to be in this situation. He shouldn't be walking up. Shouldn't be walking up in front of cars that could potentially drive at you because this is happened to you. Yeah. He should. None of this should have happened. He shouldn't be pulling his gun. The other guys weren't pulling their guns. And the lady, and they tried to say she was violent, and she's like, I'm not mad at you. Or whatever, and like, oh, see, we told you they deserve it. She deserved it, just like they do every single time. They see someone get murdered, and they're like, oh, let me go do some research and figure out why they deserved it, which is extremely ironic to me. Because these same people could use that same internet to do research and not be so fucking stupid. Right. Nope. Not going to use it for that. It's like, we're going to make our statement. We're going to say some outrageous thing. And then we're going to try to find the stuff to back that up. Even if it's wrong. We don't care what it is. We're going to take a stance and then try to find information to back it up. And it just doesn't make sense. It's really terrible. And, and the hypocrisy, too, right now, which is going on, is Iran is having massive protests against their government. They've arrested 18,000 people, and they're saying everybody that has been arrested is subject to being put to death for like treason against their country. And over 600 people have died because their military is just opening fire on protesters and killing a bunch of people. Oh, wow. So they have this one young kid, I think he's 24 years old, and they're talking about hanging him in public as an example to everybody else to stop protesting and, follow. We're going to hang this guy because he was, protesting. So our government is saying, if you hang this protester, there's going to be bad things happening to you. It's not going to be good for you. We're going to do things to Iran. We are going to retaliate for that. But at the same time, our government just executed somebody on the street, a public execution. Yeah. Not the government planning to do it as a show, but it happened. And we're just going to denounce that and not take any credit for it and not call it a mistake and not back off ICE a little bit. No, let's send more ICE. Yeah. Let's build it up even more. Let's arrest more people. Let's fight more protesters. Yet another country's going to do it, and it's like, that's outrageous. Don't do that. We're going to bomb you. Well, come on. Crazy. It doesn't make sense. Not at all. Nothing makes sense to me anymore when it comes to any of this stuff. And, it's not even all political anymore. A good portion of it has nothing to do with politics.
No.
It's all about morality.
Yeah.
And you cannot convince these people that they are immoral.
No.
And then the even worse part is a lot of them try to mask it in Christianity and religion. I'm like, oh yeah, this is
none of that goes together.
Such godly acts that are being perpetrated. Jesus would be so proud if you let him in here, because I'm sure you probably wouldn't have.
Your actions and your words don't match.
At all.
And I don't know who's still falling for it.
A lot of people. But I have still right now multiple Trump supporting social media friends that you can't tell them that he has done anything wrong. The wanting to fuck his own daughter hasn't been wrong. The making fun of disabled reporters hasn't been wrong. The bragging about sexual assault hasn't been wrong. The being in pictures and videos and being good friends with, Jeffrey Epstein hasn't been wrong. None of it has been wrong.
Right.
So at this point, what?
I wonder though, is this what you voted for?
Yes.
You voted but you voted for lowering prices. You were sick of the government and inflation and the housing going up and affordability. Right. It's a Democratic hoax. But that's what this was all about. Closing the borders, reducing immigration, and bringing down prices. Okay, we closed the border. Everybody said that. That's great. You closed it off. Nobody comes in or out anymore. So that's closed off on the southern side. Okay, you did that. But then you just forgot about everything else. And now we're on to assassinating our own people. It doesn't matter where they're from, American or immigrant. It doesn't matter. If they're in your way, kill them, push them down, knock them over, arrest them, whatever. We'll figure it out later. Yeah. There's got to be massive lawsuits from all of that too. And then, we're pirating ships in the Caribbean, and we're talking about taking over Greenland or Iceland, whatever. It's Greenland, I guess. And it was like, wait, is this what we voted for? Is this what you wanted? How is this helping America? How is this America first? It's just not at all. It's just not at all what we're talking about, or what we wanted. So.
Oh, well, it's not what we wanted.
Right.
They want whatever he wants.
But is this good for us? How is it good for us?
It doesn't matter to them.
It's not helping us.
It's worse for people that don't look like them. So
yeah,
I might have to pay more for groceries, which I was told I wasn't going to have to. But now I don't really care about groceries because brown people get to have really shitty lives.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And
some of it, like the premise, I'm okay with getting rid of fraud. And if you want to get rid of immigrants that have committed crimes,
yes, by all means.
Go to the prisons first, though. They're full of them.
Yeah.
So let's empty out prisons that we're paying for people every day. Get them out of the country.
Yeah.
Free up some money there, and then actually go after people committing crimes, not just because they're brown walking down the street.
Just going into restaurants and
and Target.
Yeah, because that's the guy who is just causing all the fucking issues in the world. The guy who's working in a kitchen somewhere, or some dude doing drywall, or something like that.
And he's been living here for 20 years. He's got a family and a house, and he's just going to work.
Yeah.
And so, he's a bad guy. He's got to go.
Yeah.
No, I know.
When we have enough of our own homegrown criminals anyway.
Right.
That's what I don't get is we're focused so hard on these people going and pulling them out of their jobs and their places of work and their homes, yet criminals who look like us, the majority of them look more like you than me, because the ones that look like me are getting their just due as well, even the ones that aren't criminals.
Yeah.
But
well, it's more Hispanic people, really. I know Somalia, the Somalis are being targeted, but it's more Hispanics.
The Haitians that were supposedly the ones that were eating cats and dogs?
Right. Well, they changed their diet and they're cool now.
Jeez. Now, tell me a little bit, because we can beat this dead horse until
it's just crazy, especially when you have the video and you're going to blatantly lie at the same time. And she was even called out on it, and she's like, "No, that's what happened." What she said is true. Like the video's right there, and she still won't back down. It's crazy.
Well, it's because, I'm going to use a term that fine gentleman right there, Jim Cornette, coined, President Pig Shit. He says what he wants, and everybody, all those moronic no-brains follow it. So
I do think there are less. There have been polls. I've heard about Fox polls where affordability or, inflation is like 72% of the concern of Fox polls. Mm-hmm. So that just shows you there are people like they really, this is all fine, but yeah, it's costing me a lot at the pump and at the grocery store and the rent and utilities, and that's what I want to focus on. And there's been no help for that. You're seeing a little bit of a turn toward that now, though, because it's being recognized that we haven't been focused on that very well. So. What you were gonna?
I was gonna say, tell me a little bit more about the whole Venezuela thing, because obviously I've seen it. From what I know is supposedly we kidnapped the president of Venezuela. We're holding him, and now we're gonna run their government. That is right. The short and long of
that is super short. I mean, if you go back a little bit, this president was elected because he was like a regular guy. He was a bus driver, and then he was the leader of the bus driving union, and he's one of us. He's a guy, Mm-hmm. So they put him in power, and the power goes to his head like crazy. Mm-hmm. And so they have another election, and he loses, mm-hmm. and he lost to. I made a couple of notes. He lost to Maria Machado, who actually ended up winning the Nobel Peace Prize, which is key later on. Mm-hmm. So he refused to give up his seat, so he remained the president. He's like, no, I'm controlling it. She's not legitimate, and he took over from that. Oh. So he's a really bad guy. Oh. And Trump didn't like him the last time he was president, doesn't like him now for sure. And then they started calling him a narco-terrorist, like he's, selling drugs and he's running a cartel. But there's zero proof of any of that.
We have proof that he's a dick.
Yes.
And that he won't give up the seat, but we don't
have proof. He's a dick. He's a bad guy. Okay. Right. So
we don't have proof of any of the things that we're actually accusing him of.
No proof at all. So then they started, he's running drugs. He's running fentanyl pills into the U.S. Mm-hmm. So we're going to stop that. So every time there's a suspected drug boat that starts headed toward the U.S., we blow it up.
Okay.
So we blew up 8 of those, and one of them was the double tap. I don't know if you heard about that, where they blew up a boat, and video showed there was a couple of survivors hanging on to the wreckage. They were in the water, unable to do anything, probably not going to survive, but they're still alive. Hit him again. So this is Pete Hegseth hit him again with another missile, which is against all Geneva Convention and violated international law, and that's bad. So that started that. Then we decided Pete became Pirate Pete, and we started taking over oil tankers. And they commandeered 4 oil tankers. 3 of them were full of oil. One of them was empty, but it was Russian. It was working for the Russian government. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of question of why did we take that one? Is it simply because it's Russian? And so anyway, that falls under like, what are we doing? So anyway, Trump decides he doesn't like this guy, and he doesn't like the woman who won because she won the Nobel Peace Prize and he didn't. Right. She took it from him. Yeah. And he says she should have refused it and insisted that he got it.
Yeah, because he so deserves it.
Right. So anyway,
742 wars. I'm just gonna cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But I've been practicing a Trump impression. I used to be fairly decent at impressions. And I have been practicing a Trump because I got his cadence down, like his speech patterns. I got that part, but I cannot get his voice right.
I need to hear it now.
I want to have it. I want to do it so bad.
I need to hear it.
Have it. Well, we'll come back to it. I'll try it in a minute.
Your impression is very bad. Of course, mine is very bad. Very, very good. Anyway, he hates this guy. Now, the badass part about this, we sent like 109 airships, and I don't know, maybe 1,000 military guys, and they went in the middle of the night Venezuela didn't know we were coming. They killed like 35 guys, snatched their president, and have him back in New York all in one night. I'm like, wow, that was crazy badass.
Yeah.
The fact that we can do that is pretty damn awesome.
Right.
And yeah, he's a bad guy, and he needs to be,
he needed to be out of that position.
He needs to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So that part, okay. But they said it was all about a regime change. But they left all of his people in charge. His vice president is now in charge of the country. All the people that were there before are still running everything.
So the woman who won the actual presidency.
No, she's not president.
How?
Because he said nobody will trust her. I'm not letting her be president because nobody trusts her. But he doesn't like her. Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't like her because she won the Nobel Peace Prize. So then she offered to share it with him, and the people that present the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't remember what country that is, they're like, no, you're not doing that. We gave it to you. You can't share it.
Yeah, piece of shit.
So there's been all kinds of offers to him, but he's like, no, I'm going to run the country. And everybody's like, you can't even run this country. How can you run that country? But it really comes down to the oil now.
Well, yeah. I've been seeing that just like with, I don't know, almost every other country we've decided to fuck with at some point.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of oil.
There's an alternative, reason for doing this stuff. Ulterior motive. Yeah. So the biggest thing is China and Russia. China buys Venezuelan oil. 70% of the oil they produce goes to China and Russia. And they have 20% of the world's oil in their area, in their region. Yeah. The problem is that they only produce 1%. They're not producing. It's there, but they're not pulling it out of the ground. And meanwhile, Venezuela has like a 200% increase in their inflation, and the country's hurting because their leader is making himself rich, and he's not spreading the wealth, and he's not helping his country. Mm-hmm. So we are decided we're going to get, our top 10 oil companies and go down there and start pumping the oil, and we're going to take 50 million barrels, which turns into like $2.5 to $4 billion. And Trump said, we're going to put that money in offshore accounts, not run it through the U.S. government so it could be monitored by our government. Put it in offshore accounts, and we'll give Venezuela what they need to keep operating. So again, it's an open door for corruption. It's 100% going to his pockets. The problem is the oil companies, they don't want to get involved because they say the laws in that area need to be changed. The politics is getting in the way. Mm-hmm. Trump's only going to be president for 3 years, and this is a long-term commitment for them. So like what happens in 3 years? And, if we spend $100 million to start pumping oil, what happens? We might lose it all. So they don't really want to get in, which Trump's getting pissed off about too, because he thought, this is the golden ticket, and they're reluctant to get involved because there's a lot of reasons that they don't want to get involved down there.
Well, a senile old, flaky ass old man probably didn't think about long term.
They didn't think about They didn't think about what are we going to do once we pluck the president? They didn't think about that at all. They have no plan.
Is there no one in place? So Venezuela just doesn't have a military then, right?
They're so small. They can try, but we just kick their ass in a second.
Well, I'm not even talking about them going against us so much as them, their military leaders
protecting their president.
Well, no, fuck that guy. Fuck him. Respecting the election and doing something.
Put their people in.
The lady in. To power.
I kind of feel like
does that guy obviously had people that were on his side that had to be higher up to be like, hey, I'm not leaving, and there had to be obviously some people with guns he ain't leaving.
That's it. Those people are still in charge. Those people are still there, and they've got opportunities because he's out of the way, and the corrupt government is still in charge. What's left of them. So maybe that's what they're deciding.
The lady who won, she's technically the president of Venezuela.
Yeah, and she's claiming hers, but they're like, no, you're not. and nobody's letting her be president. Yeah, I don't understand that. Like she should be.
Why the hell did we do that to his stupid ass?
I know. They're just the legalities of it all, I guess, are not being pushed, or their legal system is not putting it into place, which they should. They're just kind of bowing down to Trump because they don't want to get blown up. So, and then he's threatening Cuba, and he's threatening other countries now. Like, see what we just did? We can do that to you too. Yeah. And it's just crazy. All of this stuff really just falls under the heading of like, what are we doing?
And you know what I find to be so wild is that the same side that are always supporting him, they're also the, support the troops. If you don't love the troops, you're a piece of shit.
Right.
Do all that, right? They are unbelievably quiet about the fact that the shit that he does puts our troops in danger.
Definitely.
It is not good for the lives of the men and women who have to go and fight for the country.
No.
Right? These men and women that you supposedly want to protect, you just are good with him doing shit that puts them in direct line of fire. Like they have to go and be the ones to fight for whatever dumbass decision he makes, right? Yeah, like y'all recognize that. And to the point where it's like you would think they would fight to not do that. Our men and women go and do it. And that's what I think. It's people who are not in the military, who have never joined. I'm one of them. I ain't never joined. Right. But I'm also not one of those people that sits out here and talks about how badass our boys and girls in uniform are, and they'll kick your ass, and they'll, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and talk about what somebody else is going to do because I didn't join them to do it. Right. However, I'm also not, I don't want them to have to go and do it. Like,
right.
I'd rather be able to just sit at the bases at home, and so they can still be close to their families and things like that. Yeah. Isn't that what supporting the troops really should be?
It should
Isn't that what it should be? Is wanting things to be peaceful, wanting them to be able to stay at their home bases so they can spend time with their families and raise their kids, not support a dipshit who wants to send them to any fucking country at his whim to just swing his dick and let them know that our military is more powerful than theirs. Right. Because those troops that you support are the ones that are going to fight. He's not going to shoot anybody.
No.
Hegseth is not going to fight anybody.
We talked about that before. I think it's kind of a thing that gives him a hard on, because he can. Because he's got so much power, he can kill people whenever he wants to. Just send them over there and kill those people.
And I'm sure there are a few psychopaths in the military that,
of course,
are fine with doing it, right?
We used to call it gung ho. Like you're all gung ho. You can't wait to kill somebody, get all into battle. Because I was a peacetime
I would
person.
Assume that there are the majority were probably just regular people.
Yeah, the majority, and we're just kind of ready to go. Yeah. Willing to put your life on the line because that's what you signed up for. Yeah. Yes, but also, wanting to make sure it's a good cause. There was a lot of that with Vietnam, was whether it was a good cause or not, and a lot of our people died, and we're not sure why. There's been a big push from politicians to say to the military, if you're asked to do something that's unethical or illegal, we want you to say no, which is violating orders. And so that's a big thing. To violate orders, especially on that level, it's a big thing. Mm-hmm. And so I think that would take an awful lot of courage, and it would take a number of them to say we're not going to do that. Yeah, the double tap was The double tap was kind of one of those things where when it was ordered to shoot him again, somebody should have said, hey, that's against Geneva Convention and the normal rules of war and all kinds of international law. We should not do this again, instead of just doing it. And so when it gets bigger, and I hope when it comes to Greenland that we start doing that. We don't need to invade Greenland. Denmark is like, hey, take Greenland, do whatever you want, build whatever you want, use it however you want.
Tell me, so you've given me clarity on Venezuela. Right. Tell me about Greenland. Because I've seen it, but obviously, again, I will wait for someone who pays more attention like you to give me a layman's terms explanation so I can understand.
Greenland is basically a territory that has been...
Which is mostly ice.
Right.
Because back in those days, and I watch a lot of those, like, history, like fucking Vikings and stuff like that. And so, like, they called Iceland they called the land with all the ice Greenland. People would go to that one thinking it was Greenland. They called the one with all the greenery Iceland. I learned that from watching history shows like Vikings and stuff.
So strategically in the world, as far as U.S. defense, Greenland has basically been neglected to where it might be a weak point to get to the U.S. So we need it as a strategic location for our military to defend the United States.
You're saying geographically speaking,
geographically, yes.
It is a point that could be used in a route to come attack us.
Yes.
Okay.
So it becomes a key parcel of land. And Trump is saying we need to control it 100%. We need to own it. We need to annex it. We need to take it and be part of America so that we can do whatever we want there. And Denmark, who owns and occupies Greenland and has forever, for like 800 years, they're like, look, we're part of NATO. You're part of NATO. Do whatever you want there. Build whatever you need. Put everything. We'll help you. We'll do everything you want. You have free reign to do whatever you want. And Trump's like, no, I need 100% control. I want to own it. And they're like, no, you can't own it, but we'll let you do whatever you want out there. Do you understand? We're friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I want to own it. So he's like, either give it up or I'm going to take it. And they're like, no, we're not going to let you take it. It's not for sale. So that's where the battle's coming.
So it's like if a person owned a piece of land and I wanted to do stuff on that land.
Yeah.
And you owned it and you're like, hey, go ahead, man.
Do whatever you want.
Feel free. It's still my land.
Right.
But do what you need to do on it, man. You're welcome to it. Go ahead. Build your whatever. You got it.
Right.
And I'm like, no. I don't want to just do what I want with it. I have to own it.
I have to own it and do whatever I want. So I can do whatever I want and own it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it makes no sense. Like, what are we doing? Is this the America that we know? Why do we need to do this? They're telling you do whatever you want. So Denmark has sent troops to beef up their security there, and Sweden has joined them, or also NATO countries. NATO is basically beefing up their security, like, you're not going to take this, and if you do, NATO is disbanded and you're no longer a friend, and I think other countries will join them and fight against the U.S. Our friends.
World War III finally happened, we'd be the bad guy.
Right, exactly. Like, this is not America, and we're battling our friends, and we're fighting against Canada, and it's going to be the UK and France next, and Australia. We're pissing off everybody, and they're like, why are you doing this? Just go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
They're saying free reign, build bases, put people there, whatever you want to do. You're just not going to own it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I want it 100%. I don't get it. I don't know why we don't commandeer ships. We don't. Yes, we've done some regime change, but we gave it back to the people. We tried to train. We did it in Iraq. We did it in Afghanistan, where we tried to give them back a good government. Doing the right thing. We took out their bad leaders and tried to get them an opportunity to make a better government before we left the country. But now we're just we'll take it over and we're going to run it. We'll take it over, we're going to own it. And I don't get it. Like, that's not what we're about.
And that's the thing. Is there are a lot of people in this country that are about that, and they're showing us that every day. They have no empathy, they have no morals, they have no values, they only care about themselves and what they can get out of life. They do not care about anyone else's well-being besides if you look like them, maybe if you look like them, because if you look like them but then you don't think the same way they do, then it's fuck you too. So they are the most vocal that they've been in a really, really long time, because they have that piece of shit in the office making them feel emboldened. Well,
I hope it's going to turn. I think it's turning a little bit. I think it is.
It might be a little bit, but and I remember at one point, like racism, for instance, right? it was always said that racism wasn't going to go away until those generations died off.
Right.
But guess what? Those generations are raising little racists.
Yeah.
Not as much anymore. Not as much. But there are still some. There are still people in their 20s that are white nationalists and white Christian evangelicals that try to use the Bible to say that black people and Jews and all these other people suck. You know what I mean? So
now they're all ICE agents.
Now they're ICE agents.
The Proud Boys are called ICE.
Podcasters. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, yes, we see that there are some changes coming, but we also see that the shitty people are breeding more shitty people. Yeah. Or going to find more shitty people.
Well, it's become okay to be shitty. Yes. And the most popular group right now is shitty.
Yeah.
But I do think it's changing. The problem is that we're so divided that to make positive change and to kind of put it back to where we're the good Samaritans of the world and we're here to help and you can, come here and be an American and live the dream. Mm-hmm. That's a long way from happening because too many people are going to fight to keep that from happening.
Yeah. And and the thing about it is I'll be honest, right? I'll be completely honest. I'm not going to do anything but be vocal about it.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to do anything but be vocal about my disagreement with all the shit because I have a child to raise that I want to be around for. And so I'm not going to go and interact with anybody physically to get my point across. Right?
No.
I will insult you and your intelligence from the internet, from the comfort of this chair here or my home.
Well,
and I'll say what I feel.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to fight for it besides words because I have something to lose. And that's a big part of it. A lot of us have something to lose.
Right.
A lot of us have something to lose. So, they always, talk about how liberals are soft and cowards and blah, blah, blah. But then somehow we're also the violent ones.
Right. We're not the ones in masks that are assassinating people.
Yeah, right.
We're not giving up our identities.
Let's not talk about the mask. The mask that so many people on the right hated for so long and didn't want anybody to wear it. Now all of a sudden all these masked sons of bitches are running around.
Right.
So I guess masks aren't that bad. But, that's the bigger thing is people with no morals and no values will go out and act because they don't care even if they do have something to lose. That ICE agent will not get convicted of murder. We know it.
Probably not.
No, he's not.
There is an investigation, and hopefully they're going to come after him.
Even if he has children to raise, or a wife at home, or family that loves him, he doesn't really have to care so much about the consequences because he's on the side of the people that are making the decision to do the bad shit.
Right.
So he knows. George Zimmerman. I'll bring that. I know that's old as hell.
Right.
But this person literally was told by the 911 operators, don't follow that kid.
Right. But he did it anyway.
He did it anyway, murdered the kid, and got off.
Yeah.
So many people now can just go commit crimes. And here's the thing. We're never going to be able to know every crime that was committed. Right. We're never going to be able to see a video of every crime. So there's a bunch of them that we do need to hear the facts and see this and hear that, and blah, 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 in investigations and courtrooms. And
trust the system,
and let the system do its thing because it wasn't just plainly obvious in broad daylight. But then we do see the ones that are plain and obvious and in broad daylight, and it still doesn't matter.
Well, the system is being manipulated, whether it's plain and simple or complex. Yeah. It's being manipulated to fit their needs, and it's just, again, like, what are we doing? This is not the America that I grew up with. This is not I joined the Army because I was proud of this country and I wanted to be, a part of it. The goosebumps that I got being in uniform was amazing because I felt like I was, doing something with my life, and it's not the America that I wanted to fight for. It's not the America that I would have laid my life down for. So, like, if you ask me now to go join and lay down my life, we're like, no, let those motherfuckers do what they want to do, because they built this problem. I'm not going to go to Iraq and fight people because
and that's the we're
because
to fight your war,
right?
You know
for what? Not mine, but for he's got a hard on about these people, and now they are apparently the only unstable territory in the Middle East. Everybody else has pretty much settled down and got their government set, and they're doing okay. And if we can get Iraq under control, the Middle East could be a lot better place. But I don't think that's our responsibility. Let their people are protesting and rising up. Yeah. Let them do it. Yeah. Let them get that figured out, and let them install their own government. Why? I don't know why we have to get involved just yet. If they start doing genocide where they're mowing down lots of people, yeah, that's got to be stopped. But why is it our problem to stop it? I don't know why. We've already been involved in so many other things, and we're really not the Good Samaritan of the world anymore. We're just as bad as anybody else.
No, we're just come grabbers.
We're involved in Israeli genocide. We're taking over Venezuela. We're threatening our friends,
our own people.
So no, we're not good people, and our government, there are good people on our side that are pushing to try to change it, and I do think it's going to change. This type of action is not going to continue for very long, but we're so divided that it's going to stick around.
Yeah. You never know, man. Trump is what, 80 or something like that, damn near. So,
yeah.
But some young, very well spoken, very charismatic, racist, sexist piece of shit might come out, 35, 36 years old, and start swirling things around again.
I don't really know who that is. Nobody's really emerged as the next Trump. Even the vice president and possibly his kids, but nobody is in power or in a position where they could take over and keep running the way he's been doing. I just don't see that happening. I don't even know who the front runners are. There's a few Democrats that are getting strong.
Hey, I tell you what, I fuck with Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom.
I like Gavin Newsom, man. That dude.
Gavin Newscum, as they call him.
I like that dude so much. Oh, God. And
I do like
his
him.
Team, trolls Trump with the tweets and stuff. Oh, God, I love it. Who
I love right now and who's probably going to gain a lot of popularity is the mayor of... the mayor in Minnesota, in this town where I don't know the city that he's in.
Oh, yeah.
But the dude that just came out and said... Get the fuck out. We don't want you here. And he is speaking more truth than I've ever heard a politician speak. And he's passionate. And I'm like, dude, this is the kind of guy. He's like a Pete Buttigieg, that just tells it like it is. And he's straightforward and honest. And those are the kind of guys that I want to get behind. And I don't know if they're going to rise up and do anything more. But
we're in Tennessee,
that's
so
what we're going to keep using our First Amendment rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to use our voting rights.
Yep.
And we're just going to keep doing
jobs.
it. Right.
Because we do have day jobs.
Exactly.
But that's fine. If you report me to my job because you disagree with what I've said, I know what I've said here. And I hope you report me for having a conscience and empathy. Because if you disagree with anything I've said so far, I don't think I've said anything outlandish.
No.
So if you've made it this far and you're listening and you're like, I'm going to report that guy to somebody because I disagree with him, well, guess what? Fuck you too.
Well, send ICE over, let them come talk to us. I don't know who's, where's the First Amendment patrol? Nobody's really pushing that. So
we're probably going to get like 12 views on this thing.
we're all over the place.
Sometimes
we get 150 views. Sometimes we get like 6. So it all depends on what we're talking about. Maybe on this, we're going to talk about a few more things. So
speaking of views,
we
don't have a lot. I feel like we should touch on this really quickly because we might run out of time. One of the topics we wanted to mention is the things that people will go on the internet
Right.
and do and say to get views.
Which again is First Amendment.
Yeah.
You have every right to do whatever you want to do, but you're rage baiting. And
Rage baiting.
to me, this is a big word, rage baiting.
I honestly, I think we should tease. I think we should. I think
Oh,
this
really?
should be a tease because I know how far I might go
You're gonna
talking
go on
about
this?
and I don't know if we got enough time left
Maybe.
in this episode.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, it's up to
I
you.
know I've got a lot to say.
I know we want to talk. Yeah, we could maybe tease a little more, like just the outlandish things that people are going through or the steps they're going to get likes. Here's what I'll share this part, and I again made a couple of notes. Mona Lisa Perez recently pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter in the death of her boyfriend, Pedro Ruiz. He is 22 years old. Because they went on YouTube making a video trying to get clicks and likes, and he held up a .357 Magnum gun and said this is a 50 cal. Number one, he doesn't even know what gun he has. You cannot hold it. You can't hold a 50 cal up with one hand. I'm sorry, but you're just not going to. There's a 50 cal sniper rifle. There's a 50 cal machine gun.
Right.
But the bullets for a 50 cal are almost 6 inches long.
Yeah,
they're big.
humongous, yeah.
So he holds
I'm
up
not
a
even gun person, I know
.357 and he's
that.
like, let's see if this gun will shoot through an encyclopedia. It's a book that's an inch and a half thick. Well, of course it will. It depends on how far away you are. But he gave it to his girlfriend, made a YouTube video, put the book on his chest, and asked her at point blank range to go ahead and shoot and let's see what happens. And he's like, I might die, but we're going to get a lot of clicks and we're going to get a lot of, information from that. And guess what?
He actually died.
He died instantly, shot him in the chest. So she pleads guilty to second-degree manslaughter, and she ended up getting 6 months in jail, which she can serve in 10-day increments, 10 days on, 10 days off.
Yeah.
So she's end up going to be like in 90 days altogether in jail for killing her boyfriend live on YouTube. And I
wonder is that video still available?
I don't know. You can see the story. You
Yeah.
can see the video of him and her. I haven't seen the actual firing.
No, that
but
is crazy though.
It's
Like,
so crazy,
people will
and
just
what
do
they're
anything.
going through. Like the dude had to know he was about to die, and he even he said, "Yeah, it might kill me. I don't know."
I follow a guy, well, not so much follow him, but his videos pop up for me a lot, and I like him. A guy who you can tell it knows his guns and his bullets and his ammo and his,
Right.
knows his things. And he does do something similar, but he doesn't shoot himself. He puts a mannequin
Well, yeah.
behind whatever thing they're testing out. that
Right,
day.
right.
And then he hits it with different calibers of bullets.
Would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Let's try to shoot through this book first. I mean, probably an interesting YouTube video.
Yeah.
We're going to take this gun and shoot through them. I'm going to let my girlfriend shoot through this book.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd watch that, see what she can do, because that .357 is going to rock her, and she's going to be all over the place. So,
Yeah.
okay, I might watch that. Don't put it in front of your chest first. If it doesn't go through the book, then, okay, now we're going to do it this
now we're
way.
gonna try it this way.
All right. I it's still stupid as hell, but not instant death.
Yeah.
And just all for clicks. All for clicks.
Clicks
And
and
all
likes
trying to
and
get,
engagement.
the dopamine of people liking what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll get into that when we talk about it. We'll talk more about rage bait
that'll be
and some outrageous things people are doing for rage bait.
That'll be our next episode, is talking about the rage bait, the internet culture, I guess. With the likes and the clickbait and rage bait and engagements and just the things that people will do and say. We got a guy, here, and we may have said this before, on our Christmas episode, but we've got a guy here in our town that is going around and trying to bait black people into fighting him or something so he can shoot them. And I know that sounds crazy. If you're not in the area we're in, if you're seeing this from somewhere else and you haven't heard this. Most of the people that are seeing these at least know us personally. I would assume a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you are hearing this, yes, you heard that right. He is in our area, just going around and just like being as racist as possible on video, so that and he's got a bulletproof vest on and a gun, so that he can try to get some black person to do something about it, so he can shoot him.
Wow,
that's exactly what's happening.
But he protects himself.
Yeah. So that'll be something we'll share. We're not gonna say his name.
We'll talk about that, and we'll maybe get some other examples of rage bait that's going on. It's just crazy.
I've got so many examples, and I'm gonna be honest. I've got a digital creator page on Facebook. I'm gonna try to get that thing monetized. And one of the things that I've noticed, and we'll talk about this too, is just people just create this outlandish scenarios, and they'll type it all out like it's a real story that really happened, just to get engagement.
Yeah.
And it works, and they get paid off of it. So
lying works. We've learned that from our people in charge. It's crazy. It's the rock we live on.
Indeed.
It's ever changing. It's fun to talk about. So check us out. Thanks for following us on YouTube and Spotify and Facebook.
Everywhere else, Facebook.
Check us out. Look for us on TikTok. We'll put some excerpts. We appreciate the likes and follows. We're not going to rage bait to get them. No, maybe we do a little bit. We do something crazy.
Hey, you never know. I might come out and just say the most outlandish thing in the world to get you guys to follow us, and more of you to follow us.
I'll turn red live on camera. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for checking out The Rock We Live On with Mo and Craig. Make sure you like and follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And then you can also find us
anywhere where you listen to podcasts. We're on all platforms. Or check out Spotify podcasts to watch our videos.
Thanks a lot.